hopefully not have that problem. Front bumper is on. We're going to dump right off from the front bumper into the one and only Beami. Beami, not you. I'll give you a countdown. How you feeling?
Great.
You good?
Fantastic.
Good, because in 3, 2, 1, we are live. And by live, I mean we're officially live. Hell yeah, guys. Yeah, bring it in. Thank you so much for joining us. The fantastic Beami hanging out with us on Friday night, our first Friday show. And you'll notice on this Friday show, it's not just myself here. There's a gentleman next to me, a gentleman with an amazing mustache, whose name is Mustache. No, his name is JS. He's a performer. He's a very talented singer. He actually started the show with myself, opened season 2, which we're officially in, and is going to be guest hosting for this evening. What do you have to say to those things? You can pull this down so you can.
Yeah, thank you. I can't hear any audio in my headphones. Am I supposed to be hearing audio in my headphones?
How's that? Is that better?
Ooh, there we go. I
Yeah.
can hear now.
It's like I've done this once before. Can I have more chest? What is happening here with this shirt? Jesus. Sorry, guys. That's no.
Take it off.
Oh boy, let me cut off of that camera. Beami, how you feeling, buddy?
Fantastic.
How many songs did you bring for us this evening?
7.
Seven. What is the first title of the first track? Excuse me.
Jehovah.
Jehovah?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys gonna say you're gonna say C, and then we're gonna do half Spanish?
I realized I should stop while I'm before I get too deep into it.
Just constantly do that. All right, we are going to start the show. We're going to kick the show off with Jehovah whenever you are ready.
Sweet. I neglected to inform you that it was an instrumental.
I was.
I was singing the whole time. You didn't catch the words?
Very, very quiet.
The whole time.
What's the genesis of that song? What caused you to write that?
So I started playing ukulele basically because I was in a relationship, and the girl I was dating, we went to like a bookstore. We were traveling. We were in Arizona, and there was like a small little soprano cheap uke, and she wanted it, so we bought it. And
is that the ukulele that you just played on?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's long gone. But we brought it back, and for the next like probably over a month, she never touched it. And eventually, like, I would just kind of sit on the couch and like mess with it. And then one day she was like, "You're way better at that than I am. Like, you can just have it." And I was like, "Well, because I actually pick it up. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just using it, utilizing it." And then when we separated, she like kind of disappeared and stole everything. All of my
she took your ukulele?
Yeah. And everything else, like my shoes and socks and like, laptop and hard drive, like everything, like my legal documents. The car was full, the house was empty, my dogs. So all I ever got back, I had to start my whole life completely over from scratch, but I was able to get my dogs because they were like ended up in a shelter like 4 hours away, and they're in my name and they're chipped. So I got them out. I used the last of my money to buy a car on Craigslist and get back to Austin, and I restarted my whole life from scratch. And one of the first purchases I made with some of the last of my money at the moment was a new ukulele. And I was pretty broken coming out of that, and so I was like I was like really not a normal person. I was just kind of like I'd gone back to being like kind of a traumatized, like scared little kid in a way. And so when I bought that ukulele, I walked in circles around my dad's hometown, Georgetown, and just walked around the square and around the courthouse like a few nights in a row with the ukulele in my hands, and kind of like had learned those 4 chords, and I just kind of played them over and over until I liked it. And I think the second night I did that, it was like a Friday or Saturday, and I sat against the courthouse, and there were like a bunch of kids running around playing tag and like families, and it was a nice night. And as I was playing, I started playing what I just played. And as I was playing it, I noticed this like little kid, like maybe 6, was like hiding in the bushes like next to me and like listening because he just wanted to listen. And I kind of noticed him, but he didn't want me to notice him, so I just kept playing. And when I finished, I got up and I was kind of like tearing up, and as I walked away, I looked back at him and I was like, "Thanks for listening." And he was like, "You're welcome." And I walked away and I was like, I think I just became a ukulele player. Like,
dude, that's incredible.
When I started releasing music again, because I'd quit everything, and it wasn't a good relationship, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds like it. She took all your stuff and bailed.
And not just like physical stuff, but also like emotional and like my identity in a way, my worth, and that I gave it away. It's not like her responsibility. I take responsibility for it, but and so when I started recording music again, that was the first single I released, is Jehovah. And partly because when I walked around Georgetown, I would walk like a couple miles from my hotel down to the square, and I would like stand over a bridge and watch the river flow, and I would just sing out Jehovah over and over again. And then when I decided to record it, I kind of felt like I'm a writer, and all the stuff I did previously, I was always like very focused on words and vocals and writing and stuff. And I was like, this is the first time that I'm playing an instrument and teaching myself an instrument, and like plucking strings and stuff, and I was like, man, this is the voice. I was like, I don't even feel ready to speak, to put words to anything. But
was
thankfully,
that from? Sorry to cut you off. But was that from the relationship? You mean when you mean you're not ready to speak, you like feel it in music first?
Right. Like I've spent like almost 6 months at the dog park in Austin once I got back, sitting on a stump, playing my ukulele and looking down at the ground and not talking to anybody. Wow. And really it was other people who saw me there every day who would start asking me like, oh, I see you here a lot. Are those your dogs or whatever? And eventually I realized like, oh, A, other people don't hate me. And B, you know, there's a lot of nice people out there that I've been closing myself off to. So I don't know that I, at that point, would have gotten myself out of it if it wasn't for other people coming up to me and talking to me.
Oh wow, man! Yeah, there's some. It's unfortunate we live in a weird world with some really shitty people.
But a lot of good ones. I mean,
there's a lot of good people in the world, and you can't let the bad salt the good. There's more good in this world. It's like this place. It's a place of love. I mean, look, we got a little audience here for you to listen to your music on a Friday night. I'm very happy that you're here. I'm sorry that you had some of this crazy tragedy, but it led to some beautiful music, man. Right. Was there a significance to the name Yehovah?
So
outside of just you saying it, why was that popping in your head?
So at the time, I had just finished reading this book that I found at Half Price Books that was called The Keys to Enoch, the Book of Knowledge. And it's like pretty rare or whatever. Like if you look it up, it's like a bunch of money and like considered like pretty rare. I think it was written in like the 80s, like 88 or something, and it's like on universal concepts of like, I don't know, the makeup of the universe and the
some heavy stuff,
right? Yeah, deep stuff. And in it mentioned that one of the names that people referred God as was Yehovah, and for some reason that stuck with me. And I was like at probably like my lowest point, and I just wanted to sing that word. And so then when I decided to just make an instrumental, I just called it that. That's
beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I have some other questions for you, but I want to get to some more of the songs here. We have 7 to go through this evening. What is the title track to your second song that you brought? That's a great question. I hope you know it's your song. I can't help you from here.
No, I have a list just in case. I knew I'm gonna might lose track. Yeah. I got my chocolate milk just to keep me.
Oh, you do have your chocolate.
Do you want to tell the fans about this?
I was going to say, you're going to have a fan base after this with the chocolate milk. This is something that's happened in almost every show. Actually, just get in there. Let's do it.
You're getting way too much calcium, man. You're getting out of control.
My favorite part is that I can hear you chugging it.
You can hear it audibly. Take the clip that, and send it to Silk.
Yeah.
Just the audio of him sipping the milk. There's something
great,
there.
It's
that sounded. I didn't know what to feel. I almost wanted some milk, and then I was like, I'm not sure if I do want some milk.
Yeah, I feel
it's almond milk, so it's like less. I don't know. It's just nuts, nuts and water.
You're nuts.
Thank you.
You're nuts. I love you. You're nuts.
Coming from a man with that mustache, that is quite the glass house you're throwing stones from.
I cannot believe you let me on this show.
I can't either. Second song of the evening. What is the second title?
It is called Crucified.
Crucified. All right, we're singing. Is this sticking with the religious theme?
Huh?
Is this sticking with the religious theme?
I suppose.
Okay.
I don't consider myself a religious person, but I also consider myself someone very interested in history. And to me, like, to get the full scope or picture of history, you kind of have to be aware of religion. So like part of that relationship, I ended up diving really deep into. Well, so my dad was part Cherokee and Choctaw, and some of his family, and at some point in like early 2021, I started just like. So history is my least favorite subject growing up in school, and it was the only class I ever failed. And partly because there was a cute girl in there, but also the teacher like was really boring, and history was my worst subject, and it was the only class I ever failed. And then when I got out of school, and I don't know, I wanted to learn. I started learning about basically like ancient mythologies, and I think really started with like Norse mythology for whatever. I think I was watching a Netflix show called Ragnarok, which
it's a great show.
It was, yeah. They ruined it after a certain season, but it started off really good, and like the concept of Thor, also at the time and still kind of being really popular with Marvel movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I recognized that like, oh, this is based on history, kind of basically. The historical mythological Thor, which
with
is
some
different than
artistic
the comic
creativity.
Book. Right.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to learn about like the actual mythological Norse mythology, Thor and stuff. And then once I started doing that, I realized there's like a whole universe of it, and then realized that like there's in every other mythology there's like the same character that Thor is with a different name or whatever. And like once you go to Greek, and then from there I started basically like researching all ancient mythologies I could, Egyptian, and then eventually that went into like native cultures, and then I learned a lot about the Hopi and how they're the oldest civilization of known people on this side of the planet, and on the other side is the Aborigines in Australia, which I had already kind of grew up learning about because my dad played didgeridoo, and so he taught me a lot about the Aborigines and how like termites would hollow out the bamboo stalks, and then they would go like knock in the forest and find the ones that were already hollowed out, and then pick them and finish them, sandpaper them, and then blowing them. That's crazy. And so he taught me all about that growing up, and so then I was like, man, well, I'm not in Australia yet, but I want to learn about the Hopi on this side in the Four Corners area, and so I learned all of their origin stories and stuff, and then from there, I started realizing like, okay, there's a lot of parallels in relating to religions. And then I learned about Islam and some other religions, and I read all their, not all, but like a lot of their texts, and then to Judaism. And then I was like, wow, Judaism is way more similar to, or way like connected to Catholicism than I ever realized. I always thought all this stuff is just like so separate because they hate each other or whatever. And then I was like, the Old Testament of the Bible is the Torah of Judaism. Like, that's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same text. It's just they don't accept the New Testament. Like, that blew my mind. So I grew up very like detached from religion, and so then when I started learning about it, like I purposely was putting aside Catholicism and Christianity because that's what I was most exposed to in a, not in a, I know about this way, but in a, that's everywhere and I don't want to learn about it way. And then when I learned about all the other stuff, I was like, oh, okay, now that I know about Judaism and that it's related to the Bible, I need to now understand why Judaism isn't accepting of the New Testament, and why Catholicism is, and Christianity, and then all the different sects of that. And
that led you to the song Crucified?
Basically.
Okay.
It actually kind of relates to when I started playing, when my girlfriend got that ukulele.
Ex-girlfriend.
Ex,
yeah. We just want to make sure that we have
at the time, whatever. Yeah, she's long gone. Who knows where she is, man. But anyways, so I started, I didn't know how to play, so I was just like fiddling with it. And so this is actually the first song I ever wrote on ukulele. And at the time we were staying in an Airbnb in Tucson, Arizona, and there was a night where, she was being really violent and not great. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I put her arms down, and so she spit right in my face. And that had never happened to me before. And like I've been hit by her. I've been hit so hard that like in the top of my head that my nose bled multiple times. But there was something about just getting spit in the face, like it went into my mouth and stuff. And I was like, this is a new level of disrespect that I've never felt. And I took a step back, and I took a break, and then, by the end of the night, we were trying to mend things for whatever reason. And what we ended up doing is watching The Passion of the Christ by Mel Gibson, and I had never seen it. And so we watched the whole movie. She fell asleep. like before halfway through, on a pillow in my lap, and I watched the whole thing, and I cried my eyes out because I was watching this movie of this, seemingly good man like get spit in the face over and over again and get thorns smashed into his head and get completely disrespected for trying to do good and be honest. And it made me like, I watched it and I was like, this isn't his passion. This is a mockery. The whole thing is the mock. So I've always referred to Jesus's passion as the mockery of Jesus, not the passion, or the mockery of Christ, not the passion of Christ, and that's what inspired this song, basically.
Wow, that is very deep. All right, over to you. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
Over to you for Crucified. Whenever you're ready, buddy.
Cool. I think we just got some followers from that. You're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe they unfollowed me. That's what it was.
That counter's going. This is a music show. We're supposed to have music on the music show. I promise.
Here we go. Crucified. All right. The hypocrisy of cry is that the mockery of Christ keeps you crucified to your endless sins and lies. The hypocrisy of cry is that the mockery of Christ has me looking in my eyes for the meaning of this life. Is that the mockery of Christ keeps you crucified to your endless sins and lies. The hypocrisy of Christ is that the mockery of Christ has me looking in my eyes for the meaning of this life. Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, sir. Well done. So you told us about why the ukulele. We've not had ukulele on the show before. What is Beami? What is the name Beami? Because is that your given name?
No. So my mom named me Steven after Stevie Ray Vaughan. She was a big fan, and I was born in Austin.
And he's not from Austin.
No,
you just told us this earlier tonight. It blew me away. I thought he was Austin born.
He's from Dallas, right? Is that what it? Yeah.
Dallas.
So, and I grew up like a huge classic rock fan, but I was like a Hendrix head. I loved Hendrix, and so like when I listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan do Voodoo Child and stuff, I was like, oh, he's just doing the same thing as Hendrix, and I actually always preferred Hendrix's voice and style and everything over Stevie Ray Vaughan anyway. So I never even was a fan of Stevie Ray Vaughan, unpopular to people in Austin. I mean, I think he's talented and all that. I just never really got into him. Anyways, that's not why I changed my name. But so my dad didn't know I existed from my first year of life, and so he didn't have any role in naming me. And then he passed away when I was in high school. And so then, like several years after he died, like over 7, it's that chocolate milk.
It's all that silk.
Yeah.
All that silk milk you got.
It really is, man. It's good stuff. Like years after he died, I finally like went and got this hard drive that he had left me, which had like a ton of old files. Actually, that's part of what started kind of the path of me exploring ancient mythologies and stuff, because there was like tons of documents on here from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that, you know, aren't on the internet anymore. And he was always telling me, like, if you see anything, like, you got to save it because they can wipe anything off of this anytime. So he saved everything. And so I started, like, learning a lot. But a lot of it was his own personal stuff, like personal notes and things he was going through before I was born that I had no clue about. And so when I learned about them, I was like, damn, he was kind of, I related. I was like, man, I'm going through the exact same thing at the exact same time as him in my own life. And so anyways, I learned that when he was around my age, he got prompted by somebody to choose his native name. As I said, he was Cherokee and Choctaw in the family. And he chose Loping Buzzard because his uncle was the only one who embraced our Cherokee heritage. And he would take him out to the field and show him his style of hunting, where he would do, he called it his buzzard lope. And it involved his arms being out and his legs. And my dad could never do it. It's a really weird, difficult thing for some reason. But he wouldn't have to be quicker than the deer or whatever he was hunting. He just wouldn't wear out, and the deer would get tired before he did, and then he would catch up to it. And
that's how he hunted deer, was just to wear it down and just okay.
Yeah. And so when
that seems like an all-night affair. That's like
I mean, yeah, you do what you got to do, you know. So when my dad chose his native name, he chose the Loping Buzzard, and so he made music. There's music out there under that name of his. He was a terrific artist and painter and musician and all that. He considered himself a noisician because he liked making sonic experiences more than ballads. And so when I chose my native name in honor of him and my uncle, I chose Beaming Buzzard Son. And I go by Beami for short. So it's just Beami for the word beaming, basically.
Awesome. I didn't know you could name yourself because my...
do whatever I want.
Well, somebody in the audience here who happens to also be my wife is Potawatomi. And her name is Zajigwekwe, which is Yellow Thunder Woman. But it was given to her through a ceremony. I thought you had to have a ceremony to...
Well, my dad and my uncle aren't around to do that for me. So I felt it was more right to go by something that connected me to my dad than continue to go by something that my mom named me.
Fair enough.
My dad was way more. Yeah, he's the reason I'm here. So
fair enough. What is the third track that you brought for us tonight? Is it called Leaping Buzzard?
No, it's called. Yeah, that's a great question. Hold on.
We can just vamp for a little bit and talk about JS's mustache.
It's had enough attention.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be shitty.
It doesn't get enough. It hasn't been enough.
Everybody who has ever seen me with a beard, I'm showing up to co-host with a mustache. You're putting a stranger on the show.
Oh my God, I love your mustache. It's so amazing.
Don't look at me like that,
Reed. Dude, you look like Luigi from Super Mario Bros. It's my favorite.
Here we go.
All right, number 3. What was the track called? I'm so sorry.
It's called It'll Be Fine.
It'll Be Fine. But you know what won't is the mustache John has on his face. So, no, all right. I had to. I'm so sorry. I love you. It's out of love. I love you.
I know it is.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Over to you for It'll Be Fine whenever you're ready, buddy.
Cool. Thank you. What you'll find if you just look inside is that it's all alright. It will all be fine. All be fine. All be fine. You'll find inside is fine. What you'll find inside is fine. Won't you see there's nothing wrong with me? I just want you to be as happy as can be. What you'll find if you just look inside is that it's all alright. It will all be fine. It will all be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Just want you to be as happy as you can be. What was that in reference to? Was that directed to somebody?
Yeah, it was directed to everybody.
Okay.
At the time, it was right after I'd recorded Yehovah, and I'd come back to Austin, and I was staying at my best friend from high school's like mom's place because I didn't have anywhere to go. And after I got out of that relationship and I, was restarting, I had kind of lost my mind in that relationship, and she was very like mentally not stable, and so it reached a point where like if I didn't subscribe to her beliefs or agree with everything she said, I would get hit for it or whatever, and I was just like so sick of confrontation, but I also felt like I was supposed to, be a support because she also didn't have anyone, and so like I took that on for not the best reasons, and I guess because of my own past, I felt like my dad was all who I had, and if I didn't have him, I don't know that I'd be here, and I felt like she didn't have anybody, so I wanted to be to somebody who my dad was to me in a way, and so she ended up kind of convincing. Well, I ended up becoming convinced that everyone in my life was like a plant, like a CIA agent meant to corrupt me. And
this is so crazy.
Yeah, no,
this is the wildest story I've ever heard.
I fully like lost my, because at first, I fought her on it. I was like, no, that's just a dude from high school. No, that's just my cousin. No, that's just my literal sister. Like, but the more that it went on, the more I got worn down, and the more that I was like, well, I have to just say this stuff. And then once I started like saying this stuff, she also would be like, you don't really believe that. And I'd be like, yeah, I do. So I would like embody it. And then once I started embodying it, then I forgot my own sense of reality and my own actual beliefs inside and my own concept of my life. And kind of ended up convincing myself in an effort to make her have someone to relate to that she was right. And,
that's so insane, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe you got so trapped. It's like a 2-person cult.
Yes.
Which is, by the way, a great name for a band if anyone's looking. That's a
I don't want any
that's a
part
dope
of
band
it,
name. I'm so sorry to make a joke of that.
Someone else could have it.
Is that a Blue Oyster Cult cover
Yeah, you
band?
got it. I'm not in it.
Yeah, you're not in this anymore at all. What a crazy, wild thing that you unfortunately got pulled into. You had a question?
All that said, too, that's, I guess, coming from a musician's standpoint, how does your creative process look when you're putting something together? You've got plenty of source material to pick and choose from, but how do you do music first? Do you do lyrics first? I always love hearing
it's always it's always different, I think, for me, because I don't really try to sit down and write stuff. I just mostly get so overwhelmed and some certain emotion, whether it's depression or excitement or fury or whatever, that I'm like, damn, I'm too much. And so I sit down and usually end up I think music usually comes first, and then I write to it. I find it harder to try to write lyrics and then put music to it, because then a lot of times the music I end up making doesn't specifically fit into the right syllable count and all that, and I end up having to redo the lyrics anyway. So I try to I think put music first and adequately cater to it. But in terms of the lyrics themselves, so I was staying in my friend's 12-year-old brother's old room. So he had become 13, so he moved into the bigger room, and then I was taking over his 12-year-old room. So it was kind of nice, because it was I'm part of a family that's not crazy, and so I just chilled in his room, and that was when I started recording my first songs. And I think what I had done that day is I tried to record. So I grew up doing hip hop, because I liked writing and I liked words, and I didn't have confidence at all as a singer, and I didn't like my voice, or I didn't think I could sing at all. I mean, I'm still kind of iffy on that. But anyways, so I in high school, I started taking songwriting, and I was known as the rapper kid. I was the rapper at school, and I'm good at it.
Are you gonna rap? Are you gonna rap tonight?
No.
Oh, gee, you all right, fair enough.
No,
fair
but
I
there's
highly recommend looking up his stuff on Spotify, Beami,
or YouTube. Most of the rap stuff is on YouTube, honestly.
Very good stuff, man.
Okay,
thank you. Hip hop stuff is very good.
Yeah, so that's what I was most comfortable with. I like words, I like wordplay, I like being creative with words. But basically, I tried to record some hip hop song. I don't even remember what it was at the time that I had written, and I finished it, and I was like, this is garbage. I don't like it. So to release my frustration, I ended up sitting down and just doing this on my ukulele, and then I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna record this. And then after I'd finished recording the ukulele part, I literally just made up words on the spot, and sang them into the mic, and then that's on Spotify. It's called It'll Be Fine, and released that. And my dad, the main 3 words I ever remember him saying over and over again all the time, no matter what was going on, was "It'll be fine." And I found that very comforting to my life at the time. Still to this day, I say that to myself all the time in his voice in my head. And so I kind of wrote a song to myself, but with his love, that it'll be fine. And what you find if you just look inside is that it'll be fine, no matter what's going on externally. And so the line you asked me about, what was it again?
Just want you to be as happy as you can be.
Right. So the line before that is, won't you see there's nothing wrong with me? I just want you to be as happy as can be. And that was kind of me expressing that everyone around me now thinks I'm crazy, because they're kind of fair. I had gone crazy. But my loss of sanity came from a place of deep-rooted trauma that no one knew was happening to me at the time. And I'm trying to express that, yo, I'm not crazy.
Just went through some shit. That's all.
And now, like, I'm still me, and I really just want to be happy. I want you to be happy, and the things that I say and do come from that place and not anywhere else.
Well, look, everyone's been through various degrees of shit in their life. You've had some really crazy stuff happen to you, which is horrible. But also, it's not about like. There's a lot of, like, people talk about this with success and failure. It's like if somebody screws something, I was like, I failed. It's like, yeah, it's not permanent. It's just it's just a tuition payment of life.
Right.
It only becomes permanent if you stop there.
Right.
So it's like if you were to just throw in the towel and then stay in that space, then like, okay, yeah, sure, then you're crazy. But if you just go through some dark shit and come out of it, you're stronger for it, and then you become probably a better person for it, hopefully.
Right. And the part that I had to wrap my head around was like when I came back, first I was like, I don't know, not that well. And then I remember once I realized, like, man, I got to expose myself to people again. I looked up like free events on Eventbrite or something, and there was like a nomad group happening, and I went to this like brewery and met other people who traveled around and stuff, and I was like crying because people were nice to me, and I said that to somebody. I was like, man, I can't, like, I was like in tears, and I'm like, people are actually nice to me, and they were like, dude, you
went through some shit.
Yeah,
man.
They like recognized it, and it was like their reaction to me was like, I was like, oh damn, yeah, this isn't normal. And they told me, one lady said to me, you should look up like on just Google like signs you've been in an abusive relationship. And I was like, no, that's not me. And I waited like 2 weeks, and then finally I sat down at the dinner table at my friends that I was staying at, and I just pulled it up, and I looked up signs you've been in an abusive relationship, like 10 things or whatever, and I read all 10, and I cried for the rest of the night. And I was like, holy crap, this is me. Like, I'd never labeled it as abusive, and I was like, oh yeah, like. And also now this makes sense because I was abused as a kid, and I was just recreating cycles, and I dated someone who's exactly like my mother, which I didn't even think that could exist. Like someone
Dude,
like my mom.
Crazy, man. Heavy stuff.
So it was a process. And then I got lost in the like, hey, we used to be friends. Like, let me prove to you that I understand where I went wrong, and I'm healing, and I'm just trying to work through trauma. And other people were like, nah, man, like, we don't want to be around you anymore. And so then I realized, like, okay, I got to stop trying to convince all my old homies that this was momentary, and just focus on myself and my life, and let the results speak for themselves. Yeah. Like, if I go out and do really well and make a bunch of new friends and make a lot of good art and like work hard and stuff, then the rest will fall away, and people will come and go. And
well, it might also be a thing where you, like, I know you said you're leaving Austin off camera before we started the show. You're heading to, was it DC or something?
I'll be in DC for a week, and then I'll plan on moving to Philly.
Yeah. So, and it's, when you go through something like that traumatic, having a fresh start with fresh people and just wiping the slate clean might be a really good thing. And so hopefully that will provide you like a respite from some of this. And then, you shouldn't be in the game of convincing people that you're okay. Just
I stopped
you go do your thing, and they just let people come around. They'll come around when they do. And if they don't, that's on them, man.
And also I want to shout out JS because he was the only, really one of the, not the only, but one of the only people from like my pre going crazy life that welcomed me back with open arms, and like, gave me a safe haven to be understood.
Hell yeah, JS. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you. See, there is beautiful love in this world. Please.
Hey, it goes both ways, brother.
Thank you. Yeah.
You got a good heart, good soul. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks.
Forget the noise.
Yeah. Make some noise.
Make some noise. That's right. Forget it. Make some noise.
Speaking of making noise, you have a fourth noise for us this evening.
Yeah, this one is called No One Knows.
No One Knows. All right, over to you for No One Knows whenever you're ready, buddy.
Cool. like what you'll find. If you go where no one goes, you may be touched by the divine. And you go and run, knowing, word, knowing. What a little, knowing. And if you go where no one knows, and no one knowing. If you go and no one knows, and no one knows, no knowing. If you go where no one knows, you may not like what you find. If you go where no one goes, you may be touched by the divine.
You had some mumble words around, specifically around knowing. That was kind of a cool little thing you did. What was the inspiration for that?
I felt like the first lines are like say enough for what I'm trying to convey in that song, and so the mumbled words are like kind of poking fun at like you can know or you can not know. And it's all, I don't know. Everything's kind of a jumbled mess either way.
I love it, dude. That was very cool. No one's ever had mumble words on the show before. That was great. It's like a little bit of a scat thing. And speaking of no one knowing, we have some audience questions.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know any of them.
You're going to find out. We're going to come to you for one of those at the end here. But to start, we're going to come to you first. I hope you're okay with that. This is a very serious question. Tater tots or fries? Ooh. Sweet potato fries was not on the docket. Everyone always. All right, sweet potato fries. We have to like change this up. This happens every time. People are like, sweet potato fries?
It's potatoes, man.
What about yourself? Fries. Okay, fries. The lovely fiance. Tater tots. Okay.
Divorce.
That's it. That's off now officially.
Divorce. You sick.
Was it? Fries. All right. JS.
It is sweet potato fries.
Sweet potato fries?
I'm just kidding.
I hate you.
I love sweet potato fries. I go with tots.
Tots?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wrong. Fries. It's fries. I didn't know so many people like tater tots. I didn't know.
Let me guess. Your answer is fries.
Fries.
You're so wrong.
I know.
You're sick in the head.
Do you want to know what's really more disgusting? It's fries and mayonnaise.
Oh my god. You have mentioned that before.
It's filthy. I know. It's, but I'm kind of proud of it in a weird way.
Do you dress your fries? You like cheesy fries?
No. I just fries and mayonnaise, man. The French had it right. One of the few things. Sorry, French people. I'm one of them. I'm kidding. Beami, tots or fries?
Tots.
You had no confidence.
Sure? I appreciate it.
You had zero confidence. Someone's leaving now because you said it. You said tots with a question mark.
People just unfollowed.
Yeah, it's
golf.
Well, so like I like the crunch, and if like there's crappy tots out there, just like there's crappy fries, I guess. But if like
crappy people, that's what we're talking about, man.
There's goodness in it too.
There's
good ones out there.
There's good fries. There's good tots. Which brings us to the fifth song of the evening. Good tots, right? Is that the?
That might be what.
That's such a stupid joke. I love doing it.
Good tots.
It doesn't get old.
Dude, it gets old. It gets old. It's old to me, but I still do.
I have to say the one on Dusty's show when you said like gummy bear.
Running from the gummy bear.
Running from the gummy bear.
No
is
one
like
laughed.
nice. Well,
I'm gonna write that right now.
And I was like, this made it so much more.
I laughed inside, but I didn't laugh out loud because nobody else did.
Wow, follower. Damn.
Oh.
You wouldn't jump off a bridge if your friends did? What kind of friend are you?
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
Kidding. I'm just kidding.
Are you asking yourself? Because I
That's
wasn't
correct.
I was the
That is correct.
Your song number 5 is The Follower.
This is a cover. I have 2 covers tonight, and this is one of them. It's a cover of Soundgarden's Jesus Christ Pose.
Jesus Christ Pose?
Yes. I'm not going to go back to the Spanish.
You can do Spanish. I have very limited knowledge of Spanish, but I can kind of get there.
We could try.
Jesus Christ Pose. Okay.
Jesus Christos. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, how do you say pose? And I don't think that was right. All right, Jesus Christ
Position.
Pose.
Better guess than I would have had.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think it's position.
Jesus Christ Pose. Over to you whenever you're ready, buddy.
And you stare at me in your Jesus Christ pose. Arms held out like you've been carrying a load. And you swear to me you would never feel me pain. But you're staring at me like I'm ramming the nails. Oh, 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 arms held out in your Jesus Christ pose. Thorns and shroud like it's the coming of the Lord. And you swear to you I would never feed you pain. But you're staring at me like I'm crying for help. Oh, help. Oh, like I need some help. Oh, like I need some help. Held out in your Jesus Christ pose. Thorns and shroud like it's the coming of the Lord. You wouldn't pay me more to walk on water than to wear your crown of thorns. You wouldn't pay me more to bury you rich than to bury you poor. In your Jesus Christ in your Jesus Christ pose. 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 In your Jesus Christ pose.
Why that cover? Why that song?
Well, I grew up like a huge Chris Cornell fan,
Okay.
and but I was like mainly aware of Audio Slave. Soundgarden was kind of before me. I was young, but then eventually, because of that, I started exploring more of Soundgarden's catalog. And when I heard that song, it's, if you don't know it, it's like intensely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
29.
You're 29?
Yeah.
And you're too young for Soundgarden? I
mean, I was born in 95, so like in 03, I would have been, 8, and that's when Audio Slave formed.
Okay.
And also, like, I just was very close-minded as an elementary school kid, where I was like, I'm only listening to 60s, 70s, and 80s, and anything from right now I'm not about. And so I never, like, listened to the radio, and I only listened to Led Zeppelin and Talking Heads and whatever. So I don't know. I didn't discover Chris Cornell till Audio Slave, and then I thought that was all he was in. And then I listened to his solo stuff, and then eventually
he was amazing.
Oh, Soundgarden, yeah. So then the only songs I knew by Soundgarden were like some of their hits, and I didn't really. It was like more dark or like down than Audio Slave was like, Rage Against the Machine put together with Chris Cornell. So it was like rock heavy stuff, and I liked it, but I hadn't really explored Soundgarden's catalog much, so I saw them more as like grunge down stuff. And then when I like finally did, just because he's gone, there's not more Chris Cornell content out, so I was trying to get all of it I could. And when I heard Jesus Christ Pose, I was like, wow, this is an intense, crazy, incredible song. And I loved the words, and I loved the message behind it, being like, at the time, he was calling out like a lot of the other artists who presented themselves as this like messianic image to like vulnerable masses. And I think that is almost more relevant today than it was then. And so I wanted to do a cover of it, but I'm not as good of a musician yet, or like guitarist or anything to even know how to play that. So I made up my own chords and just used the lyrics to kind of form my own rendition of it.
Well, Chris Cornell that's like the top of the top of the top of the food chain. Chris Cornell was pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I knew that I wasn't trying to recreate what they did.
I totally get it. It's crazy. We only have 2 of the grunge legends that are still around, man. We've got Dave Grohl, and then we've got Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Yeah. Lane Staley from Alice in Chains is gone. We lost Kurt Cobain. Scott Weiland. I almost said Scott Stapp. Scott Weiland from by the way, I just karaoke'd the shit out of some Creed the other day.
Heck yeah. Was it higher or what?
Of course, yeah, of course it was. It's the only song I can sing in that range.
Going.
But yeah, we lost him. We lost. Who else am I forgetting? There's
Chester from Linkin Park.
Chester from Linkin Park.
Same time as Chris Cornell.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We're missing some amazing talent in this world. Song number 6 for this evening. We've got 2 more songs.
This one is on guitar.
Okay.
It's the only one on guitar.
All right. While you're getting the guitar ready, I'm going to go through the audience. I'm going to ask a very important question. Very important question. Okay. You guys ready? What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Greg, over to you first, sir. I think I know the answer to this, but Sweet cream.
With Reese's.
Sweet cream with Reese's.
That ice cream.
That's pretty hard to beat. Sweet cream with Reese's. And then the lovely fiance. Mint chocolate chip?
Great choice.
That's a good one, especially in the Texas heat. Newcomer to the show? Hi.
What's up, Nina?
What up, Nina?
Shout out to Nina. Thanks
Shout
for
out
coming.
to Nina.
Woo!
Chocolate with extra chocolate and more chocolate. That's hard to beat. That's a hard thing to beat. I have a lot of
Quadruple chocolate.
Just lots and lots and lots of chocolate. Is that Jigwekwe? Vanilla? Still vanilla? I hope. Luigi. Is it?
It's, yeah. Still number 1.
Still grasshopper pie. I love it.
I love it.
Mint Oreo. I'm still vanilla. I'm boring as shit. I can't help it.
I will say, have you ever put milk? This is something that I do. You put milk in your ice cream and then mix it around and it becomes just an ice cream soup. Oh. Have you ever tried? You've never tried that?
Have you guys done this?
Have?
Ice cream cereal.
Oh my god.
Have you done this?
Ice.
It like kind of crystallizes the ice cream.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Is this a thing?
Since I was a kid.
Me too. I don't know.
That's a thing? Okay.
Apparently, I guess so. Yeah.
Favorite flavor of ice cream? We missed you.
Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia.
Yeah, baby.
That's a hard one to beat. Ice cream with milk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's I
Late
don't
night.
know, I don't know how I feel about this.
Late night, and you mix it up, and then once you, I'm not even gonna get into it. You just have to try it. Don't be such a wuss.
Don't be so close-minded, Reed. Beami, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Did you tell us?
I think I like say a different answer every time.
That's okay.
I like ice cream, you know, but
I thought that was your answer.
ice cream
We were just like ice cream
flavored
ice cream,
cream.
ice cream
put it on
flavored
the
ice cream.
plate, man.
The first, by the way, the first group of ice cream makers to do ice cream as a flavor is gonna win the world. That's incredible. Are you pointing at me?
What are we waiting for? Let's do it.
Local Sets ice cream.
Local
Yeah,
Sets ice
dude.
cream flavored ice cream.
we talk about it enough. We should start an ice cream company. Oh my God. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Beami.
So
Pressure's on.
So, for a while, well, actually, still, anytime I look for ice cream, I try to find whatever has the most protein.
Okay.
And there's a specific brand, H-E-B, has not the Mutopia, which is also good, but they have a what is it, like variation called Swoon, and they've got all these different flavors. There's 2 of Swoon that have the most protein, so it's like 40 grams of protein in the pint. And I eat the whole thing, obviously. And
obviously.
yeah. And sometimes 2. And they're what is it? Brownie fudge cookie dough or something like that.
Brownie fudge cookie dough.
Yeah, it has a lot packed into it, and
Okay.
then the triple chocolate.
Triple chocolate. Did something? Are you okay? You're looking off to the side suddenly, like we have an intruder. What's happening over
No,
there?
man, you should see the giant June bug this giant frog just ate.
Oh, okay. All right. We
It's
have
sick, dude. Isn't amazing. Yeah.
we have a Dynatrap. It's like a little bug catcher, so that the outdoors here aren't so
He's still gulping it. It was a
bug
big one.
infested. And we have very intelligent frogs on property, so they hang around the Dynatrap because they know all the flies go.
He
over
really
there,
like
the
saved
bugs.
my life from that thing. Really, like it was coming towards me, and he was like, "Nah."
He's like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you. Well, you know.
He's still gulping it. Like he was a chunky boy. He's trying to.
You said triple chocolate, and he said it's time to eat.
Heck yeah, dude.
All right, number 6. What is the title of number 6? Is it Silk?
No, it's What Do I Know?
Wait, just everyone be quiet. I want to capture this.
He's gonna spit his milk on his nostrils.
Anyone have an ASMR fetish for drinking chocolate milk?
I can't.
I'm your guy.
22 viewers now do.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. That's my dad's favorite number.
Let's go. Oh, look at that.
The more you drink chocolate silk, somehow the viewership on YouTube keeps going up. I'm watching
Incredible.
this number. I'm like, this is the most we've had for a live broadcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Typically, it just gets shared around a close group of friends from like family that can't be there in person. But
Well, that's what they are. I mean, I sent the link around.
there we go. All right, I got a close group of friends checking you out, drinking some silk, and I can't wait to put the clip of you just downing that. What is the title track for number 6?
Oh, What Do I Know?
What do I know? What do I know? I know it's your turn to sing number 6. What do you know? Whenever you're ready.
Been so searching, ain't been learning, no, ain't been learning, but I'm certain, oh, I'm certain, something's brewing, something's brewing. But what do I know? 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 what he knows. Been so certain, been so certain, and I've been learning. Oh, I've been learning, and I'm certain. Oh, I'm certain that I'm perfect, that you're perfect, that we're perfect, so perfect. But what do I know? 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 Only I know.
Genesis of that song, you said certain something's been ruined?
Something's brewing.
Something's brewing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I wrote that down wrong. Okay, something's brewing. What's brewing? What do I know? What's brewing?
You know, something.
Something.
I know something.
All right. You're like one part
big.
philosopher and one part like a lyricist and one part musician. This is great, man.
Yeah.
We have a seventh song for this evening.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the? Are we back to ukulele? Or are we
Back to ukulele.
Okay, back to the uke. Lucky number 7.
Nice looking guitar, by the way.
Hey, yeah. Shout out to JS.
You must have got that from
An
some
amazing,
nice looking mustache.
some sicko on the side of the street.
My favorite part about your mustache is the fact that you and I are so sweaty right now because it's so hot. So like you're so sweaty.
It all collects at the lip.
Turn the camera.
Camera's off.
Camera's off. All right.
Beautiful guitar.
Number 7. What is number 7?
The Rising Sun,
The Rising Sun.
or House of the Rising Sun, but I call it the Rising Sun.
Oh, House of the Rising. You're covering the House of the Rising Sun.
Yes.
Great song by.
Well, it's made popularized by the Animals,
The Animals,
but who knows who wrote it? It's like older.
Rising Sun.
The Rising Sun.
The Rising Sun. The Rising Sun. Over to you whenever you're ready, buddy.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many poor boys. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he is satisfied is when he's on a drunk. Oh, mother, go tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans, that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. And God, I know I'm one.
Yeah, baby! Woo! Yeah! I must say I've never seen anybody play a ukulele like that before. And when you really got into it, you were borderline abusing that thing, and I loved every second of it.
I wasn't sure about the order, and then when I was figuring it out, I was like, I have to save this for the last because I might break it, so I gotta.
I was wondering if one of those things was gonna, when I say things, one of the strings was gonna just bust off of that.
That was the time, so
you meant business. The House of the Rising Sun, the Rising Sun, as you titled it. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Where can people find your art? You said you're at Beami on Spotify and on YouTube's.
Yeah, I think the best thing people could do is subscribe to me on YouTube, because there's like a wide range of all of the stuff I do on there: music, acting, vlogging, whatever.
I've got your YouTube thing in the description on YouTube already, and I'll put it up in Spotify, but I got to get your Spotify. I didn't realize you were on that, so I got to get that.
Apple Music, all that. Okay. And then my website is also the best place to keep up with me, which is beami.earth.
Beami.earth?
Yeah.
And how do you spell that?
Beami, like a light beam, Beami.earth. EARTH.
Beami.earth. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Thank you for sharing your music and your stories and some of the crazy tragedy that you went through. It was pretty stressful, what it sounded like. I do appreciate you sharing it, man. It takes a very big person to go through something that marred and then come out positive the other side and also be willing to share it with everybody. So thank you for sharing your art with us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. The 23 of you are doing it live. Thank you for watching after the fact. Be sure to check us out for another episode of Local Sets ATX. We will see you on the internet. Good night, everybody. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reed. Thank you. All right, we're almost out of here. And 3, 2, 1, we are...